alpacas. It's been a while since I just sat in front of the camera and started talking and gave you guys advice. And as you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, I am in a new place. I moved out of my residence. I moved into a townhouse with 4 other roommates. Also, before I start, if you want to be part of the next Ask Diane, go ahead on my Instagram. There's a picture there that says like hashtag Ask Diane. You can find it, ask me your questions. That video is going up as soon as this, like a couple days after this video goes up. So if you want to be featured in my next video, go ahead and ask me before you miss your chance. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about how to be happy. And for this, for me, it was something that I had to learn all on my own. I didn't read any books. I didn't have any videos like this to kind of guide me through. I didn't have any other resources but myself. So I thought that maybe, like, I know there's a lot of people dealing with, you know, issues at home. I know there's a lot of people dealing with issues that, you know, your friends put upon you, that other people put upon you, relationship issues. I know there's a lot of people out there dealing with depression, anxiety, you know, some type of mental health that is a stigma to this world. There is no set rule on how to be happy. It's just something that you learn within yourself, and no matter what the circumstances are around you, you just always got to pick yourself up. And hopefully with some of these tips that I give you today, you'll be able to kind of find yourself, I guess. I'm sorry if this is a little too cheesy for you, not your normal everyday Diane, but I mean, I really want to reach out to all of you that are struggling, to anybody that's dealing with any sort of unhappiness, or anybody that is just wanting to find constant happiness in your life. My #1 tip for you is to accept all of your flaws, and this might not necessarily mean to be happy with your flaws. If you can be happy with your flaws, then that's perfect, you know, good on you. But there is a lot of people that can't be happy with their flaws, and I think the main thing for you there is just to accept it, you know, accept the fact that you're not perfect, and embrace the fact that you're not perfect, because nobody on this earth, no matter if it's Kim Kardashian, no matter if it's Beyonce, let me tell you, okay, everybody has flaws, everybody has something that they don't like about themselves. And for you to be able to accept that and say, yes, okay, I know that I have this issue that I don't personally like. I want to work towards it. I want to accept myself. If it's something I can't change, I want to learn to love myself. If it's something I can change, then I'm going to change it. That leads me to my second point of advice. My second point of advice is to work on the things that you hate about yourself. Work on the things that you don't like about yourself. You know, find happiness in being able to accept and change something you hate about yourself. Let's just say you hate the way that your hair looks. You absolutely hate the color, you hate the cut, you just hate the length, you hate all of this. It doesn't take much to change your hair, you know what I mean? Like, if you hate it so much, and if it's something that you find a really big flaw in yourself from day to day, every time you look in the mirror, you say, I hate my hair, then change it, you know? Work on the things that you hate about yourself. There's certain things that you can't change, like your height. I mean, like, for me, it took me a really long time to embrace my height. You know, I was always the runt of everybody, because I'm Filipino, and I don't really know if this runs true to anybody else, but in my family, we're all pretty small, except for my brother. He's kind of an outlier. He's pretty tall, but like, for all the girls in my family, like my cousins, etc., like, we're all pretty short. And I mean, like, me, compared to the rest of the girls in my family, I'm pretty tall, and I'm 4'11", but I mean, compared to the rest of my class, compared to the rest of my friends, I am short as the hell, okay? But I kind of just learned over the years to accept the fact that I'm not gonna grow anymore, and I love being my height. There's so many things that are so great about being my height, which I won't go into, but like, you just gotta learn to accept the things that you can't change. For example, if you feel like you're a very jealous person, or like, let's say you're very jealous about this person's car, or you're very jealous about this person's looks, that is something that you can change about yourself. You know, you learn to be more self-confident, learn to love yourself, what you have. Don't be envious of other people's things, because you know that's not going to help you in the long run. That's always something that you can change. If you hate something about yourself, it will bring you so much happiness to be able to either accept it and or to change it. My third piece of advice, I'm sorry if this video gets pretty long, but I mean, this is the kind of video that I hope you guys want to see. My third piece of advice is to let go of things that happened to you in the past, things that bring you down, you know, things that you can't change. Don't look backwards. This is what I tell everybody every time they tell me that they're down about the past. Don't look backwards. You're not going that way. You're going forwards, right? You don't want to travel back in time and repeat the same mistakes and relive that terrible experience of your life. You're not going backwards, so don't look that way. Just focus on what you want to do with your life, focus on the positives, focus on everything that is about to come. Don't focus about the things that have already happened. What are you going to do about it? You can't go and change it. You can't go, oh, I wish this, I wish that. This is why you always have to look forward. There are things in the future that you can change 100%. You can change anything in the future, but you can't change anything about the past. Don't relive the past so much so that it hurts you and it brings you down all the time. There's nothing you can do about it. And my fourth piece of advice for you guys today is to have a positive attitude. And for me, I think that was probably one of the biggest things that helped me to learn how to be happy. You know, when I was younger, when I was in my teenage years, I mean, I still am a teen, I'm 19, but I'm almost 20, okay? So when I was in my younger teen years, I was always very anxious, I was very depressed, I was very down. It wasn't very pleasant to be the way that I was. You know, I was always looking down on everything in a sense where, why would it make me happy when this and this and this? Or I was looking down on certain things like, why should I even go if it's not going to make me happy? It's because I always kept a negative attitude. And I think once I learned, like once I grew, once I learned how to be more open, I learned to be more optimistic, I learned to be more positive, and that for me was a very big thing. Like, it was so big that it was literally life-changing. When I started to think about being more positive, when I started to think about being more optimistic, that's when the light, like, that's when the switch like flew off in my head, and I'm like, yes, I am gonna be happy. And every single day I'll wake up thinking, you know, it's gonna be a good day. I don't care what is going on right now, it's gonna be a good day, and there's nothing else that can bring me down. I don't care. Anybody can come tell me, oh Diane, it's a bad day for me, it's this, it's a bad day. But I still personally, in myself, I'm like, okay, it's a bad day for you, but it's not a bad day for me. You know, and I think that was what also triggered my pessimistic view on life, is because the people that I was surrounding myself with at that time were always very, very pessimistic, and they never really had a good outlook on life. And I guess I kind of absorbed their feelings as well. They're kind of like, it's a bad day today, and I'm like, yep, you're right, it's a bad day today. But now I don't let anybody's feelings about the day affect my feelings about the day, because that's their feelings, that's their own situation. I don't let it affect what it does to me. Number 5, this is probably a very big one, especially for younger people. Learn to accept your past actions and know that you're not defined by what you've done in the past. So let's say you were 14, 15 and you're just dipping your toe in relationship, like high school relationships, and you do something bad, like you, I don't know, cheat on your significant other. That is it's a very bad thing to do, and I mean, it hurts a lot of people, but you have to understand that now you are not that person. If you know that you've changed, you know that that's not who you are anymore, you know that you would never even think about doing it, let it go, because that was your past. Know that your past does not define you, and you shouldn't be ashamed of your past. Even though you may have done things in the past that you regret, you know that it is very bad, you probably shame, embrace the fact that that's who you were before, and you learned from it. You know, you learn now that it's not okay to cheat on people. You know that it hurts people, and you know that if it was done to you, it would hurt you so much. Like, you know that that's not you anymore. You should learn that you're never going to do that ever again. And that's the biggest thing about mistakes in the past, is you learn from them. You never know when you're about to make a mistake until you make it, and then you realize, holy crap, I should not have done that. I will never do that again. I can't believe I hurt this person. I can't believe I did this to myself. And just realize that there's nothing you can do. Like I said, there's nothing you can do about the past. You can only learn from it. Don't let it define who you are as a person now, because 14-year-old Diane is not the same as 19-year-old Diane. I can tell you that right now. 14-year-old Diane was very unknowing, you know, very sad all the time for no reason. I guess it was puberty, I don't know. But 19-year-old Diane knows better than to, like, you know, let people manipulate her like she did before. My 6th piece of advice for you on how to be happy is to accept who you are. And don't be afraid of who you are as a person, because that's who you are. This is the person that you were born as, this is the person that you're gonna die as. And trying to change who you really are as a person is going to leave you unhappy for the rest of your life. Let's say that who I am as a person is I'm very artistic, I'm very creative, and I like hands-on things. But let's say my parents were, this is all very rhetorical by the way, let's say that my parents want to force me to become a doctor where there's no artistic needs there's not much creativity, this is all memorizing sciences, maths, you know, like all of that crazy textbook stuff. I know in myself that I am not any sort of that type of person, and I know I'm on this type of person, but I want to do what makes my parents happy, and then I pursue that career for the rest of my life, and then okay, first of all, I don't even know if I'm going to make it to med school at this point if I'm this person and then I'm trying to go through this place. First of all, I don't even know if I'm going to be successful. I am going to be depressed as hell, okay? And let me tell you, there is nothing worse than trying to please everybody. You try to please one person, another person is unhappy. You try to please both people and somebody else is going to be unhappy, and you try to please everybody but then you're going to be unhappy. It's not going to work. Don't change yourself for other people. Accept who you are. If you're a creative person and your parents are trying to force you to become a doctor, you have to have a talk with them. You say, look, this is not who I was supposed to be. This is not who I am. I can't do this. I have no capacity to do this. I am not interested. It's going to make me unhappy for the rest of my life. You got to know who you are. Accept it. And this can go for everything too. I'm not just talking about straight up doctor versus creativity. There's so many other things that this could be about. My 7th piece of advice for you is when somebody does something nice for you, accept it, you know, take it. Don't be one of those people that like can't take a compliment. Oh my goodness, I can't stand people that don't know how to take compliments. But then at the same time, I was very much like that when I was younger. You know, I used to think so badly of myself that I was ugly. These braces were ugly, I'm so short, nobody's gonna like me. I was flat as a board, I had no boobies. I thought I was too dark, you know, I was just so many things about me that I hated about myself. Because of that, I could not take a compliment for the life of me. One time in art class in grade 9, I remember this so vividly, this really, really beautiful girl named Danielle in my art class looks at me and she's like, oh my god, your eyeliner is so nice. And I was like, what the fuck? I was so shocked. I was like, why are you complimenting me? You are so pretty and I look like a potato. I don't know. Like, I was so shocked that somebody that I thought was very, very pretty complimented me for something about me, something about my physical appearance. I was so insecure about myself that I just did not know how to take a compliment. As I grew older, you know, I realized that yeah, I know how to do my makeup, okay? Like, I think my eyeliner is on fleek most of the time. I think my eyebrows are on fleek some of the time. Like, when somebody tells me, Diane, you look very beautiful today, I'm like, homegirl, thank you. I appreciate it. And this time, I know to appreciate it. I know to accept it. I know that, you know, wow, this person thinks I'm pretty. Well, damn. Number 8 is probably a pretty big thing for younger people. I think it's probably bigger for those of you that are still growing, don't necessarily know how to judge whether it's right or wrong. And what I'm talking about is being able to say no. I know that when I was younger, it was so hard for me to say no. I just could not say no for for anything. For whether it be, Diane, can you do this for me? Diane, can you do that for me? Can you please tell this and this for me? Can you please cover for me? Like, all of that kind of stuff, I could not say no. And I think it became very stressful because I bit off way more than I could chew. You know, I thought, okay, I'm trying to help these people. I was not thinking about myself. I was trying to help everybody here and there. At the end of the day, I had nothing left for me. This is very, very important as well to those younger girls in like grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. You know, you can be very, very influenced. I saw so many girls at that age being so influenced in high school. You know, if a guy comes up to you and you're you know 14 and he says, oh, do you want to do this? You'll be cool if you do this. Oh, everybody's doing this. You need to learn how to say no, because first of all, if you're not ready to do anything you don't want to do, don't feel pressure to say yes, because a lot of younger boys, a lot of young boys will pressure young girls. And you know, sometimes these boys aren't even young, like they'll be a couple years older than these young girls, and I'm like, that is wrong. You stop that. I feel like a lot of young girls are very, they feel pressured to fit in because they're just coming into high school from junior high, right? So learn how to say no, for sure. This applies to very many things. Like in your adult life, if you still find yourself being unhappy in your adult life, maybe you just don't know how to say no, whether it comes to work, whether it comes to relationships, whether it comes to your parents. Like, you need to learn how to stand up for yourself eventually. Number 9, I swear to God, guys, we're almost done here. Number 9 is stop comparing yourself to others. I'm sorry, it's kind of noisy. I'm right beside the road. Stop comparing yourself to others. That's very self-explanatory. If you compare yourself to others all the time, you're never going to find happiness in yourself. You're never going to be able to accept yourself for who you are. You're never going to think you're beautiful. And I think comparing just in general is probably something you just don't ever want to do. You can compare furniture. You walk into your room and say, you know what? I have this too, but I think yours is better. You can compare video game consoles. I have this, but I think yours is better. You can compare your hair. You know, I really like your hair. I think my hair is complete crap compared to yours. You could compare personalities. You could compare heights. You can compare eyes. You can compare lips. But at the end of the day, what is it doing for you? Is it making you feel better? Probably not. Is it making somebody else feel better? Probably not. Stop comparing yourself. It's not going to work for you. Number 10, find an outlet. You know, write your emotions down if you feel like it. For me, my outlet was always YouTube. You know, I had something to express who I was as a person. And, you know, it doesn't always have to be so public. For me, it started off with drawing, and then it happened to be writing in journals. And then I guess I just wanted, well, I mean, when I started YouTube, I didn't think that anybody would ever watch me. And then now I have like, what, 77,000 of you? Holy, I need to take a break right now. Oh my God, I'm so thankful for all of you. You just really need to focus your time and your emotions into something that you can really, like, you can call solid. You know, you can write down your emotions so that in a couple years time, when you're very happy, very optimistic, you can look back and say, look at how much I've grown. Because that is what, like, I love doing that, being able to read my own blogs, being able to read my own, like, my own journal entries back when I was like 14, 15, and looking back at it now, and I'm like, holy, look at how much I've grown. Oh my goodness, like, I can't believe I am amazing today when I came from so little. Number 11 is probably the hardest thing to do, is to forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself for any mistakes that you made. You know, like I said, what's in the past is in the past. You can't go back and change it. I mean, like, yeah, it's gonna be really hard to forgive yourself at the end of the day, but you just need to learn how. There's nothing that can be done to kind of reverse what you did. I mean, as long as she knows that you're sorry, everybody else knows that you're sorry, at the end of the day, who else's forgiveness can you really ask for except for yourself? My last tip of advice for you guys is accept help. Sometimes you just need a little bit of help. You know, sometimes you just really need somebody else to talk to. You need somebody there to give you a push in the right direction. And oftentimes when I was younger, I just didn't want to bother anybody. I didn't want to hear what anybody had to say. I feel like nobody understood me. I feel like I was just going nowhere. The moment that I started accepting help, the moment I started like opening up to people, was when I started to realize, you know, I'm gonna get better and I'm gonna be happy. So that is it for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a very, very long one, but I feel like I feel like you guys just needed to hear that, and I'm sorry that it's a long video, but I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Please make sure to go head over to my Instagram and ask me your questions if you want to be featured in my next Ask Diane. Goodbye, my baby alpacas. I love you. I will see you soon. Bye.